Welcome to the CNC with Dave show. This is episode number 60, I think. It's good to be back. We've got just a couple of folks here on the panel tonight. I've sent out a few invites, but maybe have some folks join us later, and some folks were busy. As you know, it's summer. A lot of folks got stuff to do. So I guess before we get going on this too much, I'll go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves, and we'll start with Mr. Blakesley.
I'm Jerry. You can find me just about anywhere under Jerry's Machines when I'm around. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Thanks for being here, Jerry. Next, we have Mr. Lopez.
Hi guys, Juan Lopez here. You can find me on YouTube under G-Code One Design, also on Instagram and on Facebook. Thanks for having me, Dave.
All right, thanks for being here, Juan. Appreciate you. And finally, we have Mr. Lindsay.
Hey, good evening, folks. My name is Mark Lindsay. You can find me here on YouTube under Mark Lindsay CNC. I'm also most active on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And you can also find me at my website, marklindsaycnc.com. Thank you for having me here, Dave.
All right, thanks for being here. Just got a few things to talk about, I guess, like I always do, before we get started on our topic. Tonight we're going to be talking about the, I don't know, some people call it text on text. I think Rhetoric calls it stacked text. Call it whatever you want to. I just think it looks cool. And I've been seeing a lot of cool pictures on Facebook, people posting some of the projects they've done. And I wanted to figure out how to do it. So I did that. And we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. And also I got, had a bunch of people email me pictures. So we'll show some pictures. And I've got some stuff I've done. Mine's not real great because I'm just still figuring stuff out. But I'll talk about some of the mistakes I've made on that stuff. But anyway, before we get into that, I want to talk about the Whirligig Wars is going on right now with Simply Wooden Creations. That's Russell Clarity's YouTube channel. I was able to get an entry into the Birdhouse Challenge, and I've got a Whirligig thing up here. But if I don't know if I'm going to have time to get it all done, but I'm going to try. So hopefully I can get an entry into that. So I hope everybody else will try too. And let's see, what else did I want to talk about here? I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Jim. Y'all probably heard me talk about my buddy Jim, my electrician guy that comes and, you know, does all my electrical work, running 220 and, you know, what have you that I need done. Just he lives around the corner, and I gave him the Gatton CNC that I did for that video series. In fact, he's got two of them over there. One from the first series and one of the older ones, and then he's got the Gatton CNC. But I want to give him a shout out, and I know he's not listening because I don't think he ever watches this show. He's not a YouTube guy, but anyway, I just wanted to publicly thank him because he was over here the other day. He comes, we go out to lunch a lot and stuff, and he lives just about a mile from here. And anyway, he was over here the other day, and I got to talking about how I needed to get a dial indicator. I didn't have one. And I said, I need to, get on Amazon and buy me one. Well, shoot, the next day, here he comes, and he's bringing me this little case, and I open it up, and sure enough, there is, if I can get it open here. Sure enough, there's a dial indicator. So big shout out to my buddy Jim. Appreciate you. Awesome. He's always bringing me food too. Him and his wife, they cooked a brisket and brought me some brisket last night too. So they take care of me. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, that's a truth.
We should watch the show though. I know he's probably in bed right now. I don't think he ever watches the show. But anyway, I wanted to thank him anyway. Also, I wanted to give a shout out, and I don't know if this person's watching or not. An old buddy of mine, Carl Whitaker. He's a guy I went to school with. I've probably known Carl, probably, I don't know, 50, probably over 50 years. Carl still lives up around the Indianapolis area. I grew up, in Danville, just a little west of Indy. But anyway, want to give him a shout out. He purchased a kit, a Gatton CNC kit. It's probably been about a month ago. I meant to give him a shout out on the last time I did a show, and I forgot to. But anyway, just want to give him a shout out and hope that he can get that thing built. I know he's got some big plans to show his grandkids. So just a quick shout out for Carl. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, in case y'all been wondering what I've done the last 2 weeks since I didn't do a show, is I've added some homing switches to the Gatton CNC, which was really a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Then I also built a touch plate out of a piece of aluminum. And part of the touch plate came about when I started doing or trying my first text on text thing. The first one I did here, I'll hold this up, and it really looks pretty bad because it hadn't even been sanded or anything. It's just a piece of pine, as you can see. But I found out after doing this, because I really didn't have the correct bit. Or I guess I don't have the correct bit, or didn't have. You folks can tell me over in the chat what kind of bits y'all use. When I watched the tutorial on Rhetoric, they used an engraving bit, that was like a V, but it has the little flat on it. And I didn't have one of those, so I used a 90-degree B bit with just the point. And in doing that, I found out pretty quick the importance of being able to get a zero really close. So that's when I did that. I thought, well, since I've already got homing switches, I've already got my breakout board, so let me go ahead and make a quick touch plate. So made a touch plate real quick, and I love that thing. It's working really good. And so that's what I did the past couple of weeks. Built a touch plate, added some homing switches, as well as completed the birdhouse for the birdhouse challenge and all that. I see we've got Russ Meadows joined us here. Russ, you want to go ahead before I get rambling on here too much and tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube as Rusty Nails Wood Shop. Thanks for having me. Internet is spotty here, so it might not be where I can stay too long. Bad weather.
Okay. Well, hang around as long as you can, and we'll leave the door unlocked. So you need to come back. Well, go ahead. But yeah, another thing I want to do before I get started too deep into the text on text stuff is, I get emails all the time, Facebook messages, text messages, you name it. Folks, thanking me for, the stuff I do, giving away the plans on the old Sidewinder and the Gatton CNC kits, the GarageWorks CNC kits, all that stuff. And I love getting, those kind of messages. But I also, wanted to say that when you guys build those things and then start posting pictures of all the different things you make on Facebook and what have you, you guys really inspire me. So, I don't know if I've ever told you that, but it's always cool to see somebody not only build a machine, but just put out some awesome projects. So that's, here I go again, getting that tickle. That's what, always makes me feel good to see you guys really using these machines like they should be. Okay, so if I can get through this, I'm gonna have to get up and get a cough drop or something. Getting a tickle again. I've done a couple of these. Like I said, this was the first one I did. And then I thought, well, I don't think that regular V-bit with the point's going to work that great. So I looked online and I bought a bit. In fact, I bought like 3 of these. And this is a 1/4 inch diameter, 45 degree, which means it's got the 22.5 degree side angle. And you probably can't see it, or maybe you can, but it's got a flat of a 32nd on the end of it there. I don't know. You're able to see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And one thing you want to be careful about with these is they're solid carbide. So if you're out in your garage or something with a concrete floor, you don't want to fumble around and drop it. I mean, I haven't done that yet, but that's why I bought 3 of them. Well, actually, I bought 3 because I gave one to my buddy Jim because he wanted to get to doing this stuff too. And then the other reason was I thought, well, I know I'll probably end up dropping one or set it down, it'll roll off and hit the floor or whatever. So, but so far I haven't done it. This is the brand new one. I haven't even used this one yet. But anyway, I will show one of these here. And again, there's plenty of flaws in here if you want to look close, folks. But this is the second one I did.
I actually like that one. I like that one a lot better than some of them I've seen on there. That looks a little different. That looks more like what I would do with the scroll saw.
Well,
that's real good.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, Russ, because I meant to bring them in here because I have some out in my shop that have this same kind of thing. It's got the word home, and then it's got this writing here. But I saw them where they posted them, and they were scroll saw projects. You know, the home was all cut out, and then you know that it was a scroll saw deal. Well, you know me, I'm not much on scroll saw yet. So anyway, I had taken them and kind of converted them to CNC where the CNC cut them out, and I had used a couple of pieces of old pallet wood and cut them out like that. And I meant to bring one of those in here because that's actually where I got the idea to do that same kind of thing, but only do the text on text or stack text on that. And like I said, this one, I don't know. I think I'm still doing something wrong because there's really more sanding than I want to do, but or maybe that's just part of it. I don't know. And then I did this one too. And again, if you look close, you'll find some flaws in this one. In fact, one of the flaws, I thought, well, I purposely want to show this so that you can see in the tutorial how important it is to do a part. Does anybody notice it right away? What's missing on this one?
Is it the G?
Well, you're sharp. Talking about right here?
Yeah, you got the hole knot there.
Yeah. And when you watch, and I want to encourage everybody that wants to learn how to do this, I've got links in the show description to the 2 Rhetoric tutorials that I watched. And I can tell you right now, folks, I am not the brightest bulb on the tree. So if I can watch those tutorials and learn how to do this, you can too. I will say, you know, I think a lot of folks are not crazy about the Rhetoric tutorials because of the, you know, they always have a real thick accent and stuff like that. But what I did is I fired it up, made it full screen so that I could see what the guy was doing as well as listen to him. Or if you can cast it to your big screen TV, that's even better. And then, but I was doing it on my desktop back there. And then every time he would do one little step, I would pause it and flip the screen and go to my V-Carve. I was just doing it along with him. And it really made it easy. Those are great tutorials. Like I said, sometimes it's a little hard to understand him, you know, especially if you're an old country boy like me, you know, they don't talk like I do when they do those tutorials. But one of the things in there is when you're creating this text, you have this top text on a layer, and this guy used a layer called top text, and then he has this other, like this word family would be on the bottom text. Well, you have to take this text and this is a kind of a script type text. So I had to convert it to,
Curves.
yeah, convert it to curves and all that. And when you do that, you have to weld the, I don't know what they call it, but it's called welding in there. But before you do that, you have to go in, and every place there's a little island, like all these little places here where I'm pointing. You have to deselect them before you hit weld, or it will delete them.
Yep.
Well, apparently old Dave forgot right here because it's gone, and I never even noticed it until I cut this. And, you know, I'm sitting here getting ready to take the clamps off of it off the table, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, nuts. So, and I looked at the program today, and that's exactly what I did. It's missing that. I mean, I could fix this piece, but I'll just fix the program, and it'll be right from then on. But anyway, now I want to show you. Okay, I've showed you my crummy stuff. Now I want to show you some pictures of some of the stuff that people have sent me.
Before you do that, Dave, we have a question for you here from Jack Ulivas, who wants to know how long did it take to cut with the old bit versus the new bit?
Well, the old bit took a really, really long time because since it had a point on it and not any flat at all, I set the step over for like 1/1000ths, thinking that would try to, you know, I knew up front I wasn't using the right kind of bit. So I set it really, so obviously with that, just a 1/1000th step over, it had to take a lot of little passes. Then when I bought this bit, since it had a 30-second flat on it, which for those of you who don't know the fractions, the metric or the decimal is a 0.03125. So I could set the step over at about half that, or actually I think I set it at like 40%, which comes out like 12.5 thou or something like that. So it was considerably faster for using this. Did that answer the question, I guess?
I believe it does. I believe it does. Could you do me a personal favor and put a link to that bit in the description box of this video so I can go check them out? I've been looking for them myself.
This is, I guess I should have told you the brand. I didn't say the brand, did I?
No.
This is an Amana tool, and I got it off of Amazon, but it was from a company called Tools Today.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll put the link on there.
I appreciate it.
Let's see. Okay, so any other questions? But I see Jim Bashir says, "Yeah, Dave's not much of a welder." That's true. I'm not. I can't even weld vectors. What the heck? Does Dave have a part number? Yeah, if you want, I'll give you the part number off this thing now. If anybody wants it, it's it's got a Tools Today sticker right here. You can see this is an Amana tool product that they offer, but the part number is 45623.
Okay.
It's called a 45-degree engraving, 1/4 inch diameter with a 1/32 tip.
Okay.
And one thing about these, I think Mark's going to do a video to explain about how to set tools up in the database or something when he gets time. But just so you know, when you set up a V bit, it's different than when you do an engraving bit.
Right.
A V bit, they want, the whole angle. Like if you took a protractor and put it on a 90-degree V bit, it'll be 90 degrees, which, you got 45 on each side. But when you're putting it in the tool database for an engraving bit, they ask you for the side angle. And this one says 45 degrees, but that's the whole angle. So the side angle is 22.5.
Right.
Which is half of 45. So just make sure when you're putting them in there, you know that, because if you don't, it won't cut right.
That's right. You also have to put in the tip width, correct?
Yes, there is a place to put the flat in engraving, which obviously there isn't on a when you're doing a V-bit. Anything else?
Yeah, Michael Chipser says he found out that problem the hard way.
Yeah. You're not alone, Michael. You're not alone. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions right off the bat, and if any others come in, if y'all will grab them and hold on to them, I'm going to, let's see, how do I do this here?
Well, I do have
Retraining.
one. I do have one question, but it's not on the subject, so I can either ask now or I can wait until later.
Okay. Well, if you'll hold on to it, we'll get it here in a minute. I'm going to present myself here and then do the screen share. Okay, y'all see me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I posted just not all that long ago, a few hours ago maybe, and asked folks if they'd done any projects to send me pictures. And man, I got a bunch of pictures here. So can y'all see this now?
Yeah.
Okay, this one was sent to me by Jason Nimz, Nimz, and it's the same. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. There we go. It's the same thing. It's just now he's got some stain on it, and then I hear he's got looks like some paint on it. But this was pretty impressive to me because he was saying in the message that he sent to me that you see how some of it, I guess you can see my mouse, right? Some of this stuff, can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, see that some of that stuff he said it was like less than a 30 seconds, so that's pretty small.
Wonder how fast he was going with that.
Yeah, I don't recall if he told me that or not.
Did an excellent job. That texture on the bottom there, that looks real nice and smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said these things, that's why I wanted to show this, because I think they're cool. And I also think that if you made one of these and start showing it around, you're going to get some business, because, people just like stuff like this. Like
Big time.
Yeah. I actually did one for my buddy Jim. I was talking to him on the phone. I said, "Hey, Jim, what's your anniversary?" And he told me, and of course he didn't know what I was doing. And then I sent him the screenshot of the preview. And I told, he says, yeah, he says, you going to cut that for me? I said, no, so I'm just going to send you the program, let you cut it. But now let's see, this one is sent by Kevin Calhoun. I think this is the guy that started it all, because I think this is the one that I saw, and I thought, man, that's cool. I want to learn how to do that. But yeah, this is one by Kevin Calhoun. I think that's the only picture I got. Yeah, okay, this is Mike, however you say that name. I'll let somebody else say it. Anyway, same name that's on the plaque there.
I think that G is probably silent.
Okay.
The Rhetoric?
Yeah,
I'll go with that. Yeah, that sounds good. But he sent that one. And again, I don't know if he's used the same template as Vectric, or if he's just made his own, or what here. This is another one by Mike. I kind of like this one because I like the texture on the bottom there.
Yeah.
I always like that texture stuff. And plus, it probably will hide some mistakes if you have one there too.
Russ, I'm thinking that pallet wood texture that you used on that bulldog sign of yours would look excellent as a background on one of these.
I think it would.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one by Mike, Top Dog. That's a little bit, I really like that too. Okay, this is from Rob Schuster. And I believe when he sent me the message with these, I think he said this is not used with V-Carve Pro, but when he was using CAN-BAM, so it's still the same kind of thing. So I guess CAN-BAM will do that as well. And Rob, I think I saw him out there in the chat. Yeah, I think he was in there. Yeah, he's showing another view of it. I'm not sure what kind of wood did it. Okay, now this one. Well, I guess you need to see this. That's what the other one was. It was kind of a side view of this. And this is a little bit different, but it's still stuff stacked or, whatever. Yeah, this was the side view of that where he was showing where he painted it. But that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And let's see, what else did I have? Was that all of them? Let's see. Jason, Evan, Mike, Rob. Yeah, I guess that was. Yeah, this is, I'll show you this. This is one I made for my buddy Jim. Now, this isn't the plaque, but this is the V-Carve profile. I guess it won't slow things down too much by opening this up. Just run through here. Yeah, I did this for him and then just sent him a preview of this and then just to see what he thought. And then he goes, "Yeah, I really like that." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll send you the files and you can cut it."
Nice.
That is nice.
Nice.
And let me, if I can go here. Like I said, I don't want to go and try to explain exactly how all this stuff works because I might just confuse people. I would just encourage everybody to use the tutorials that Rhetoric has. Use those links in the show description. But this is kind of how this works. That you can see there's a bunch of different layers here. The drill holes is obviously the holes in the corner there. The last name text is, in this case, Stroud. The first name text is Jim and Jill. And then the V-Carve text is down here where it says the date. And then what you do is you copy, and they stress in there, make sure you copy and not, maybe make sure you copy to another layer and save that layer. Because like if I turn all of these off, I guess I got to get over here.
Yeah.
There.
2D view.
But when you go to the other layers, you copy the top. You make a copy of this first name text, and they call it top text here. And I just went with the same thing they use just to keep it exactly like there so I wouldn't get confused when I watch the video. But the top text, you save a copy of that onto the bottom text, and then that's when you have to do that welding that I was talking about. And that little thing is right there. But you have to make sure, like I said, you have to make sure you unselect these little islands, any place there's a little island in the top text before you do that. And that's why I missed that one on the G on that one I did. In fact, if I come over here, I don't know where it's at. I'm not even right. Oh, that's right. I had all that stuff on the desktop, I think.
Okay, David Roby is saying that the same features are available in Cut 2D Desktop. I did not know that.
Oh, okay. I did not know that either.
I did not do that. So David, does that mean that you have done a stack text using Cut 2D Desktop?
Now, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no.
see. Yeah, we'd have to wait for him to answer, I guess. Dan is saying, is there a reason the text isn't centered? If you're talking about this, it's because that date is down here. I'm only showing part of it. That's why it's not centered on this one. And here I'm pointing my finger like y'all can see that.
So yeah, there's another line of text that's going under there, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And just like in the photos I was showing, you know, how I think it was Mike that did the one that said top, you can move the text around wherever you want, just depending on what kind of effect you're going for. If you're doing these kind of things like this for married folks or whatever, you know, you would put the text up and then, you know, probably put their wedding anniversary date down there or something like that. But yeah, you can, like on these here, this is the one that I was showing a while ago. See, everything's centered. But you can move it around any which way you want to. But like I said, I don't want to take up a lot of time trying to, you know, reinvent the wheel. I would really just encourage everybody to watch those tutorials because that's exactly what I did. And in fact, I've got right somewhere, where was it? Oh, here I go again. Let me close this. This is the exact same, the stack text template. This is exactly what they tell you or show you how to make in that tutorial. And you can see they use just make-believe names or whatever. But once you have this and save it as a template, and they also show you, in case you don't know, how to go into Windows and click on the file. And let me just do that and show folks. Like if I come to this file right here and I click on it and go properties, y'all can still see this, right?
Yes.
Okay. See how I've got the attribute down here? I've got the read only checked.
Yeah.
So once you get a good template and you watch that tutorial and you create the template like this, you go to Windows and you just click on it and right click and hit properties and make that a read only. That way, when I come to open this up in V-Carve Pro, and let's say I change something and then I hit save. Well, did it hit? Yeah, it'll come up and won't let you do it. So that tells you that you can't screw this one up. So first thing you have to do before you open up your template, and then you would go over here and hit File, Save As, call it whatever you're wanting to do, whether it be, you know, one of the ones like I've got or whatever, and then you can change it. But you're not going to be able to change this one as long as you have that attribute check where it's a read only, which is a good thing to do, because if you don't, you probably end up forgetting and change a bunch of stuff and then won't be able to go back to your template. So
sounds like Rocky's getting a little cheesed off over there, boss.
that's the other puppy that I'm puppy sitting. That's Jack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rocky's bark doesn't sound anything like that one.
Nothing like that kennel.
Yeah, I put him in a little crate there so he wouldn't, for his own protection actually, because Rocky, like I said, Rocky's like an old bear, man. You don't want to poke the bear.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because the chat's going, hey, does the dog need to go out? Does Rocky need to go out? Is Rocky okay?
I appreciate your concern for my dog.
Rocky's a star, man.
Yeah, he's probably more popular than I am. That video, I don't know if y'all have probably seen that video I did years ago. I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago now. I came home for lunch and I set the camera over up in the corner and I just hit it record, and the name of the video was What My Dog Does While I'm Not Home. And that video is probably still in my top 10 as far as views for my whole YouTube channel. Out of all the videos I've done, he's still up there. So anyway, how does V-Carve work on Apple? I don't know.
It don't.
Not sure. I'm not sure it does. I don't think it does.
Now you can. I'm just suggesting to him to talk to Hobby. Hobby does use a Mac, and there's a program. It's an emulator for Windows, but V-Carve is a Windows-only program.
Yeah.
So they do not make a separate version for Mac. So
yeah,
all of Rhetoric software is that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's, some of that stuff will run. What is that one thing? Isn't it called Parallel or something like that? That one?
You know what? When people say Mac, I back away slowly and just
Well, I do too, because I'm not an Apple guy at all. I don't even have an iPhone. I have one of those other kind.
Yeah.
But any other questions or something? Like I said, I don't want to try to reteach the whole thing.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to let him out of there. He's getting loud now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Y'all, I'll turn my camera off. Y'all bear with me a second.
Okay. That's what happens with live entertainment.
I've done quite a few of those word-on-word text things like that with the scroll saw. I've done bunches of them, and I like the way they look. And some of the ones I've seen on Facebook, I haven't really liked how they've done them. But the first one that he showed with that script text in it, I really did like that, because it was more along the lines of what I do with the scroll saw. And it kind of looks like it, but it's probably even better. I might be able to make some money with those.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now I wouldn't have any idea on how to price something like that. I'm probably the worst person to ask, but I could see that's one of those things that impresses people real fast.
Yeah.
I mean, they look at that and they just think that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so y'all know, whoever was asking that question about the Mac earlier, Javi's in the chat, and he says that the Parallel, I thought it was called that, runs $79. Boot camp is free. And he says all you need in both cases is a Windows operating system to load on the Mac, and you can run anything a PC runs, which I guess means V-Carve Pro would work if you go through all those other hoops and stuff.
Yep.
Okay, Gussie Banjo says, Dave, can you cut to insert with other wood?
That would be a whole nother process. I think that would be just a standard V inlay, wouldn't it?
I guess that's what he's asking. Are you talking about an inlay? And if you are, again, I would suggest watching a couple of videos. Rhetoric has a good one. Peter Pasqualo has a really good one. Lots of good videos out there. There's not, I can tell you folks, there's nothing out there that Rhetoric software does that they're in the video on.
Oh, perfect. Jim Sinicola says you need to get in tight with a wedding photographer. Yes, that would be a good source of.
Yeah, exactly. Or just, if you made one of those up and put it at, maybe a place where they sell bridal gowns and stuff, or, who knows? Just as long as you get it in front of folks that, how they are. They go, oh, I got to have that.
Yep.
Darren Bird says, Dave, did you buy a 3D printer yet? No, I have been able to restrain myself. That's probably, people probably think I took that 2 weeks off so I could play with my new 3D printer, but no, I have not bought one. I do, however, still have that same one in my Amazon cart. I have been trying to restrain myself.
So for all you folks who picked 3D printer in the pool as to why Dave was gone for 2 weeks, sorry.
Yeah, you lose. You definitely lose. No, I it's kind of like this. When we did that show and Ron Cleveland was on here, and Ron, if you're out there, thanks so much for showing. I do see one in my future. I'll end up getting one eventually, but right now, I don't. Even if I bought it, I wouldn't have time to play with it because I'm busy doing other things, and that's kind of why I thought, well, I'll keep it in the cart. I know which one it is. And by the way, somebody says, which one is Dave looking at? I'd have to look in my cart, but it's the exact one that Ron was showing on
Ron Coleman.
that show.
Yeah.
Which was what, the last show we did?
Yeah.
Something tech. My memory sucks. I'm old, sorry. And I had it wrote down somewhere, but yeah, I have to look in my Amazon cart. Let me see if I can do that. It's something tech. It was $6.99. I know that. Let's see if it's in my cart here.
Ron
I took it out of it's probably on my wish list, I guess. You're gonna hear the dogs fighting here in a minute. Get out of his face, Jack. You don't poke the brown bear.
Well, you can do anything you want.
Can you hear it? If you can hear it, man, Rocky's growling underneath the desk here.
QD Tech.
What is it?
QIDI. QD Tech.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And it was, I don't know what the price is now. I think it had actually gone down, which was even harder for me to not go ahead and get it. But yeah, I forgot. I think I took it out of my cart. Yeah, it's probably right here in this list somewhere. Yeah, QD Tech 3DP QDA 16-01 dual extruder desktop 3D printer.
Yeah, Gussie Banjos is saying they're now $649.99.
Yeah, I think they had gone down right after I put it in my cart. Mine's still showing $6.99 here, but
just so long as you remember that's in your cart before you think you're buying a couple of router bits. You get a big surprise.
I got to tell you, I had to catch myself because I put it in my cart, and then I did go to buy when I went to buy these router bits that I was showing earlier. I clicked on it, and then I wondered why my bill was like $800 something.
That's why.
And I thought, wait a minute, But yeah, I had to click save for later.
Yeah.
But I guess I should have put the link to this bit. These things, by the way, right now. No, wait, that's not it. That's the wrong one. Trying to find, where is that one? I don't see that number. This was about $30 a piece, though.
Yeah.
If anybody's wanting to know.
Amana tools are not cheap, but they're worth it.
Yeah. Now I have, I probably showed them in here before on a show. I have 2 or 3 different ball nose bits to do the 3D kind of stuff and photo V-Carve and stuff that are Amana. And those things are nice. Like I say, they're a little pricey, but I don't mind paying a little more if I know it's really good and going to last. And of course, these, like I said, these are solid carbide, so just make sure you don't drop them and hit the concrete. That won't be good.
Yep. Is that enough spiral bit that you got? Or no, it's not enough spiral. That's a engraving bit. Yeah,
and by the way, I didn't mention, but when I was doing these, and I don't know whatever anybody else that does them can mention what they use in the chat, but I use just a 1/4 inch up spiral for the clearance tool.
Okay.
And then the V bit. But I hope to get a lot better at doing these. And one thing too, I made these. These aren't real big. This is only, I think, I don't know, 4.5 inches, maybe 5 something. But I was using up. This is some mahogany that I had, and I needed to use it for something. But it was a big chunk of it. It was like 4 or 8/4. And so I thought, well, I'm just gonna cut me a piece to length and then resaw it on my bandsaw. Well, my bandsaw only got a 6-inch capacity because I don't have a riser block. So I actually may have a new larger bandsaw in my future before a 3D printer.
Uh-oh.
So because I would like to have something that that allows me to cut more. Melinda's got a nice one. She bought a really nice one at not Atlanta.
No, she bought a drum sander in Atlanta. Melinda's got
drum sander.
everything.
Yeah, she buys a lot of stuff. Yeah, she bought the drum sander in Atlanta, and I think it was in Hickory. No, maybe it was the Atlanta show before that. Yeah, that's what it was, I think. But she bought a big. In fact, I've gone over to her shop to resaw stuff because hers she got a big.
I don't blame her.
Capacity. So
she had a brand new Powermatic table saw sitting on the pallet when we helped her move that drum sander at the Atlanta show.
Yeah.
She didn't even have her belt. She didn't even have her table saw set up yet.
Yeah. Oh, it's set up now. Yeah.
She still had to use her old jet.
Yeah.
She's got a killer shot.
Yeah, she does. I don't know if she's watching tonight, Melinda. If you're out there watching, I don't know why. There's the chat. It came back. If you're out there watching, say something over there in the chat. Okay. Well, what time is it? We're getting.
It's about 10 minutes till. I do have a question here from Jesse Schneider. Earlier when you were talking about limit switches, he said, Dave, the machine you added the limit switches and touch plate to, was that on the Mazzo? The reason he's asking is because that's what he's using. He has the X and Y limits working. He just can't figure out how to get the Z to back off.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. The one I just added homing switches and the touch plate for was on my Gatton CNC that I used to cut the kit. You know, it's my big one that I got out there. The Masso I have on a 36 by 24 Garage Works. Now I do have homing switches on that as well, and they're working fine. But I haven't put a touch plate on it. I'll try to do that and see. I mean, it was easy. It was easy with Mach 3. And I will recommend another video. In fact, I have tried to send the guy a message to see if he wants to come on the show. But I don't know if y'all heard of the guy. His name's Steve. I don't know what his last name is, but Steve is Guru Brew.
Yes.
Y'all know him. He had an that's the video I watched before I went and did the touch plate. He's not strictly a CNC video type person. He does all kinds of stuff. But I watched his video on how to do the touch plate, and I watched it and I'm like, I can't believe it's that easy. He just made it look so easy. And I went out there and 5 minutes later I had a touch plate. I mean, it is that easy, at least with Mach 3. Now, I'll have to experiment, Jesse, with the Masso and see about how to do it. I don't know if there's any documentation on their website or anything. But Jazz pretty quick to respond.
Now, do you haven't painted any of your text on text signs yet, have you?
No, these are just that's right how it come off the CNC pretty much.
Because we have had a ton of questions about painting, and folks wanting to know. So, what do you do with the sign now? Clear coat or do some painting and shading? What? Both. Both. I mean, I've seen people do both.
Yeah. Now, I saw. Probably on Facebook. Don't quote me, but I think it was on Facebook. Probably a discussion or a thread or whatever about how to paint these things. Now, when I cut mine, because I wasn't planning on doing any painting or anything, I was just playing around, just first of all seeing if I could do this. So what I did is in the tool path in V-Carve Pro, there's I think 5 tool paths. let me let me share again real quick, and I'll go open this up, and maybe it'll. Okay, y'all see me?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, let me just open it. I'm just going to open up this home one that I did. They're all pretty much the same. But what I did is when you do the tool path, you know, obviously you're using a clearance tool, and I used the a 1/4 inch bit for the clearance. See, when I hold that up, you can see end mill 25 inch or 0.25 inch.
Yeah.
And then there's the 22.5 degree engraving bit. So what I did is I took this tool path and this tool path and saved them as one file because they're using the same tool. Then I came back and used this tool path and this tool path because they're both using that engraving bit. Right. And then I came back after all that and put the 1/4 inch back in and did the profile. Now, again, I don't know how to do this, but I saw a discussion, and I can't remember who it was that was saying it. But they were talking about how, I guess if you do this one tool path, you know, don't put them together like I did and do the first one where it would do, let's see if I can get this to show. Nah. Anyway, it do, no, I got the wrong one here. That you could probably paint that before you moved on to do the, you know what I mean? You break it down and paint them a little as you go. I don't know how that would work. I'm not a big fan of painting anyway. So, but I did see a discussion. I'll have to go back and look on Facebook. I'm sure that's where I saw that. And I don't remember. Javi, are you still over there in the chat? That wasn't you I saw having that discussion on Facebook, was it?
Javi is out in the chat, yes. And in fact, he's got a question I'm trying to find an answer for.
Okay, that might have been, now that I think about it, it might have been him that was talking about that.
You know, with the ones that I do myself, I use cherry wood, and I use just Danish oil on the whole thing. And after it's dry about 3 days, I'll put clear coat on and be done with it. And it comes out pretty stinking nice. I was just wondering how it would look like on that, because when I do them, I'm taking the text away.
Yeah. Now, one thing you could do too is, because technically where my finger is on the top of this top text, that's still the top of the material. There wasn't nothing taken off of that. So I guess if you painted the blank before you even cut that right here where it says, what does it say? Family is a gift that lasts forever. That would, like, say you painted that black, it would be black.
Right.
And, you know, that might make it pop a little more. I don't know. To me, when I'm using, you know, some wood like this, you know, something besides little crappy pine, I like the wood grain myself. Unless it's just something that really needs to pop, you know.
It really depends on what it is. Some things are left better left alone and just top coated. Other things do need paint.
Because I mean, like this doesn't even have anything on it.
It looks good.
And just holding it here in this camera, you can see exactly what it says. So, you know, any clear or something you put on, it's just going to make it show a little better.
Yeah. Javi says he says he'll make a video on painting one of those signs as soon as he gets back from vacation. He's created hundreds of those signs.
Okay, so Javi, was it you that I saw having that discussion in Facebook?
I don't know if that was him or not.
I don't know. I was thinking, after I got thinking about it, it might have been him.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And go ahead and get off vacation. You've been on vacation long enough.
Now, is this for the masking of that of those type of signs? because there was one on the group on Gatton CNC where they were sharing as far as how to.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that was Hobby. Now that I think about it, it was saying that. He says in here, paint, stain, and seal each layer in between CNCing. That's the best way.
I'm looking. It was somebody else.
Okay. Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, maybe Hobby just chimed in and was talking. I don't know. But anyway, I saw a conversation, and you say it was in the Gatton CNC group.
Yep. As a matter of fact, it was Chuck. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his last name right, but Shuey.
Chuck Shuey. Okay.
Yeah.
9 days left. No, you don't, Hobby. Go on home now. Do that video.
You didn't bring your CNC with you? What kind of big
Hobby's out camping. He's
got it in the back of the trailer.
Yeah.
He's got it made, man. He's sitting out on his deck under his little awning and stuff. I envy him.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
Just kidding, Hobby.
Speaking of Hobby, he has a question. I'm sorry, or a mask, you said?
Yeah, I was just mentioning that's what they're mentioning on here right now, or on that post was Aura Mask.
And by the way, I saw somebody, and I was going to try to remember who I saw. I'll think of it in a minute. I'm terrible with names. I saw somebody on Facebook post exactly what kind of Aura mask they used.
813 on this one.
813, and I immediately went to Amazon, and guess what old Dave bought?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Only thing is, it wasn't available for Prime, so I don't have it yet. It'll come, I think, Tuesday or something.
Times is hard.
I'm going to try that because, I've been wanting to try something. I experimented with contact paper and different things, and they work okay. But from what I've heard, that Aura mask stuff is especially the 813 is the stuff. So I want to try some of that. In fact, I saw Bill Griggs. He's not where I first saw it, but I saw him mentioning it on his group.
Same
so
here.
I thought, okay, well, there's another person that said it. So
Same here.
I will maybe do a video or something on that. Or
okay, Hobby says he has tons of Aura mask in bulk. I'll be cutting them up and selling them to all you guys. Hey, I had dibs first, Hobby. Don't you be giving away the stuff you set aside for me.
Yeah.
And that roll he was going to send me too.
I'm serious.
Yeah. Any other questions? We're probably about the top of the hour here.
Hobby has a question here. It's a V-Carve question for everybody. Is V-Carve able to carve using more than one bit? In other words, progressively smaller bits for the pocket areas around the carve. I'm guessing like raised letters and what have you.
Well, now is he talking about where when you select, just like on any kind of pocket you do, you can select a clearance tool and a the main tool, like a smaller tool to get into the tight places. Is that what he's talking about?
I'm guessing, yes, wanting to be able to do progressively smaller and smaller bits to get better detail on the letters.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Well, it has a feature, whether you select pocket or, I guess it's pocket. It has a place where you can check if you want to use a clearance tool, and then you just tell it what that is. So even though you're setting up that one tool path, it creates two tool paths.
Right.
Just like where you saw a while ago when I was showing, I had a tool path for that little engraving bit, and then I also had one for the 1/4 inch up spiral. That was all created really using one tool path, but when it does it, it breaks it down and puts two separate tool paths.
Okay.
So I hope I answered this question. I may just.
We are all on the same sheet of music. There is another way to do it. I know exactly what he's talking about. If you go over to Vectric's YouTube channel and look for a tutorial, it's way back. It's an old one on rest machining. It's tutorial F12, rest machining. And there's a technique that you get as close as you can with one size bit, then you can just basically create a boundary around what's left, and then use a smaller bit, then create a boundary around what's left, and then use a smaller bit on that. You can do as many as you'd like. It's, the technique is called rest machining. It's usually used with 3D carving, but it also works for 2D carving. So that way you're not going back over the entire ding-dong thing. If you have a large area to clear and you want to use a 3/4 inch bit to clear out a bunch of stuff, then come back in with a 1/2 inch, then 1/4, then 1/8. You know, you can do several, you know, without going over the entire piece of material. Again, machining stuff that's already been machined. You can just select the area that you want to get into, but it's called rest machining. So.
Okay, now, but you said that was a really old video.
Yeah, it's 4
Would it
years old.
still apply now because of, you know, the newer
Yes.
versions?
Yes,
Or is it
the
still
newer,
something to-
yes, the newer versions will do everything the older versions did. This is more of a technique. It's not a special feature. It just shows you how to use this technique.
Oh, okay.
Selecting.
As you were talking, I was thinking, I guess you could do it, you know, I mean, you right now you select a tool and a clearance tool, and then it creates two tool paths. But I guess you could
Right.
always go back and just copy that other tool path
Right.
and change to the smaller bit, and it's kind of sort of the same thing.
You could, but then you're going back and you're recutting everything that's already been cleared with the.
No,
With the
I'm
larger
not
bit.
talking about copying both tool paths. Just copying the one that's using the small bit.
Right, and what this is, the
And then-
rest
and then
machining
change.
technique. What the rest machining technique does is it shows you how to draw a perimeter around what's already been cut, or what's left over after it's been cleared, so that you
Yeah.
can get all of that detail, and then do
Okay, I'm
two.
gonna make a note. I guess I've just got myself another vector tutorial to watch tomorrow.
It's called the rest machining.
Rest
Machining.
machine.
If you
Okay.
want, I can put a link to the tutorial in the chat right now.
All right, well, I'm not gonna watch it now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
we
kinda
have
busy.
any other questions? I see we got Tommy G in the house. How you doing,
Tommy G, how you feeling, bro?
Jeff Robinson. Let's see who all we got on here. We got.
And that was the last question, by the way.
Tim Guba, Jim Bashirs, Jeff Robinson, Jesse Snyder. We still got like 80 something folks. I know we had over 100 earlier, so we've had a good crowd tonight. I'm moving the wrong scrolly thing. I can never work this other laptop because whoa, there it goes. Martin Whitman. I'm just calling off some names here. Herb Lichtenberg, Gussie Banjos. That's Eric somebody. I can't remember his last name. A random audio guy. Ron Cleveland. Oh, there's Ron, the 3D printing guy.
The 3D printer.
Yeah.
And
Aaron
there's
Clark, Brian Ballard. Appreciate you guys coming and watching tonight. And letting me take a couple Saturdays off. Which also brings me to my last little announcement here. This is like the 60th show, and it's been a lot of fun doing this show. And I really, other than the past 2 Saturdays that I took off, I really hadn't had where I really taken much off. One or 2 or 3 maybe. Other than that, I think not very many. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of change the show schedule just a little bit. Not anything drastic, but it's at least until maybe the fall when the daylight hours are shorter and this old guy's got less stuff to do. Up until then, I'm going to start doing the show just on the 1st and the third Saturdays of the month. So it'll just be twice a month. And again, that'll probably just be till in the fall. Right now, it's so hard to be out there in the shop and get in the middle of something and go, oh, I got to stop and go get ready for a show, because it stays light till like 9 o'clock here right now. So, and like I said, I've got a lot of other things I want to try to do that will also help make for some good shows if I can get them done right. So I'm going to start doing the show on the first and third Saturday. Now, you may ask, what if a month has 5 Saturdays like July happens to have? So we will do another show. There won't be one next week because that's the 4th Saturday, but we will do one July 29th, which will be the 5th Saturday of this month. And then again, we'll start, and then we'll have one back to back, because there'll be one August 5th, which will be the 1st Saturday. And I don't think there's any more months with 5 Saturdays until September and December, I believe. But anyway, it'll just be kind of like in every other thing for the most part. But, you can, if you follow me, which, you should be doing anyway, either on Facebook or Twitter or something, and then you won't have any excuse to go, well, I can't keep up with what Saturday your show is, blah, blah. You should be following me anyway, and you know that stuff. And plus, I always post stuff on Facebook when there's going to be a show. So, anyway, we're going to try that for a while. Like I said, because I just got a ton of stuff I need to be doing instead of stopping and coming in here and doing this every Saturday. So, anyway, anybody got any questions now?
Yes, Joseph Connor is asking about a meetup at the Klingspor show in Hickory, North Carolina.
Well, I mean, what are you calling a meetup? I mean, I'm going to be at the Klingspor show. I know lots of other folks are too. I guess we lost Jerry, didn't I? I know Jerry Blakesley, he must have dropped out or something.
Yeah, he's been having problems.
Yeah, he'll be there, because him and I'm sure Sterling Davis will be there. Sterling wouldn't miss it for the world. They live real close to there. I'll be there. I'm pretty sure Melinda's going to be there. I tell you, if you want to do a meetup and meet Melinda and pick her brain about photo V-Carve stuff, that'd be a good time.
That'd be the place to do it. Yep.
She was at the Hickory show last year, but she was busy because she was doing bandsaw demos for the Powermatic and Jet booth. When she bought I just talked about that big bandsaw she bought at the Atlanta show the previous year, not last year, but the year before. They invited her to come do bandsaw. So she was like the Alex Snodgrass of, a female version or something. And she cut she cut swans or something. Alex cuts reindeer. She cut swans or something all day long. But yeah, if you want to meet Melinda and pick her brain about anything in general, because she's awesome at everything she does, but particularly the photo V-Carve stuff, I'm sure she'll be there.
Oh yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, and as far as the meetup, like I said, we can all get together and go to a restaurant or something after the show. That show's only Friday and Saturday, I believe. It doesn't do a Sunday thing like the Atlanta show does. But yeah, we can get together one of those nights. Where I stayed, well, Melinda and I both went last year. We stayed at the I'll probably say it wrong if I Fairmont. Does that sound right? Fairmont Inn or something like that? Nah, maybe that's not. Fairfield Inn.
Fairfield.
That's what it is. Yeah, and I mean, there was like a Carrabba's, like you could just about spit out the window and hit the Carrabba's. So that'd be a good place to go.
Not if people are spitting out the window at it.
And, yeah, and just old country boy term. And you could also walk. We didn't drive to the show. We walked. It was that close. And there's and I mentioned the Fairfield Inn, but there's like, I don't know, all kinds of them. There's probably 5 or 6 big hotels right there next to that. I think they call it the convention center. And that'll be the end of October, I think 27th, 28th. I believe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Eric Gussie Banjos is saying they have more shows back east. And I said, yes, they do. And he's asking about West Coast shows. I am still trying to nail down the people from the woodworking show. I've got emails into everybody I know, whether they're affiliated with the woodworking show or not. I'm talking people like Rosa Houston, the Craig representative, asking if they have heard of any West Coast shows coming up. There's a big woodworking trade show in Vegas. Well, if it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. But this is mainly geared towards manufacturers or what have you.
I feel bad for the folks that live, out that way.
Well, now
Because
for the last few years, they've done one in Sacramento, but they haven't committed this year to having one. So I don't know yet.
Yeah, but that wasn't the woodworking show, right?
Yeah, it was the woodworking show. They did them in Sacramento at the Cal Expo, which is the big fair.
I didn't know they did one out there. I was thinking the farthest west they went was like St. Louis or something.
Yeah, but they haven't made any commitments this year yet. And like I say, I'm emailing everybody I know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, I feel fortunate to be in the Atlanta area where it's real easy for me to go because I can go to the show and then come home and sleep in my own bed every night.
But on the plus side, we do have the big Maker Fair here, so in San Francisco. But what the heck.
Yeah. Okay. I give you that one.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we're done. No more questions. I guess I hadn't scrolled down here in a minute.
No more questions, but could I make a little, not so much an announcement, but a little comment here, if you don't mind?
All right.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions folks asking me. It's been a long time since I've posted anything CNC on my YouTube channel. No, I have not moved on to other things. I'm still the same CNC guy. It's just that one series was about restoring that vice. That's done and over with. I'm getting back to CNC. I've got a couple of big projects coming up for CNC. But no, I have not moved on. I'm still working on it. And I've just been swamped with work and haven't been around much in the past couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, sometimes life gets in the way.
It does.
It
does.
And
it's funny because I said I wanted to be self-employed because I didn't want to have a job, and I'm working harder now than I ever did. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, everybody remember, no show next week. The following Saturday, July 29th. I'll make sure everybody gets noticed. Like I said, if you're following me, you'll know. Look for the, I always share the, what do you call that when you set up the event? I always share that on Facebook everywhere. So anyway, that'll give me some good time enjoy some of these late daylight hours.
Yep.
All right, everybody have a good night. I want to thank everybody for watching. We still got 84 folks watching. We had, 100 and something earlier.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jerry, wherever you went, and Juan and Mark and Mr. Meadows. Looks like he's abandoned us too.
Jerry did have a power outage. That's the reason he left.
Well, I know Russ said his was kind of iffy, so it may just be froze. That may be why we're seeing that screen. He may be gone.
That's possible.
But anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Everybody have a good weekend.
See you guys.
Take care. Have a good one.